What is up, everyone, and welcome back to my channel. I'm going to be testing out today a few products from the CoverGirl Clean Fresh line. This line, I believe, was originally launched in January of 2020. So it's not really new, it's new to me, but I'm really excited to test the products out. I'm going to be testing out today two of the blushes here, which are in the shades 330 and 370, which are Butterflies and Pure Innocence. And then I'm also going to be testing out two of the CoverGirl Clean Fresh Cooling Glow Sticks. And these are in the shade So Guilty and Transparent. And then I had also picked up the CoverGirl Clean Fresh Compact Setting Powder here. I'm normally a loose powder kind of girl, but this got really good reviews and I do want to have a compact to keep in my purse for powders, so I figured I'd give it a shot and test it out with the other products in the line. So the first thing I'm going to go in with today is going to be testing out these two shades. I'm not the most familiar or pro at cream products, but these seem to be relatively beginner friendly, and so I'm hoping that's the case. So I'm just going to test just kind of a little bit on my hand here. So it's really pretty. It has like a nice iridescence to it, like a nice sheen. Okay. So I just applied just a little bit here, and I'm going to kind of run that down my hand so you can kind of see how it blends out. Okay. They're really pretty. So I'm going to wipe off the excess so I don't get it all over myself. And here are the two shades. I don't know, hopefully you can see the sheen of that there. So this is the Sweet Innocence shade, and then this here is Butterflies. So I think I'm gonna try and go in for today's look. I'm gonna go in with Butterflies. I am going to apply it on my hand and kind of rub it in a little bit and apply it with a sponge. So I'm just gonna go in here and apply just a little bit like this. And I can always go in with more. I wanna go in pretty light so I can build it up, because I definitely don't wanna go in and have it be too dark to begin with. So I did wet this e.l.f. sponge here, and I'm going to kind of rub this all over my hand and then tap in my brush into that, or I'm going to tap in my sponge into what's on my hand here. Let's see. Okay. So hopefully this picks it up. Okay, so it did a little bit, but I might just need to not rub it into my hands so much. So I'm gonna go in with a little bit more product here. Add a little bit more. I'm probably just going to rub it in a little bit. Okay. So I went in with the flat side of this sponge here. So I'm going to go in with that a little bit and see how that blends in. So it seems to be like a little splotchy. Maybe it's just the sponge that I'm using. Yeah, it's like, see how it gets a little bit splotchy right there? Could just be user error, but okay, I'm gonna try going in with a different e.l.f. sponge that I normally use. Sorry, it's dirty. I just used it when I was putting on my makeup. But I'm gonna try and go in just with a different sponge to see if maybe that flat side, it just didn't like that. I don't know. There's like this splotchy area here. Let me see if I can blend it out some. I'm gonna try moving on to the other side to see maybe if maybe not rubbing it into my hand would help. So I'm just gonna rub this up the side of my face here. Okay, yeah, so that side, maybe it was just rubbing it into my hand first, because this definitely is way less splotchy on this side than this side. So I squirted some of that blush onto my hand there, but I didn't rub it in. I just went right in with my sponge. And now that it's not splotchy, it's really pretty. I hope that you can, if you can see that. It's down much more than what you see on your hand. I'm gonna see if I can try and fill in those spots. So I don't want to overdo it, but it definitely has, like, as you can see, it has like a nice sheen to it. So for someone that doesn't normally go in with highlighter, I would almost say that this would probably give you enough of a glow that you wouldn't really have to go in with a highlighter. But I do have two of these shades here, like I said, 300 transparent and then also 400 guilty. Let me go ahead and show these to you. So looking at them, So Guilty is beautiful. If you can see here, it's definitely like a little iridescent. It has more of like some gold tones to it. Really pretty. This transparent color is really just that. It looks almost, if you can see, it looks just like a lip balm, honestly. So let me go ahead and swatch these on my hand here. I wiped off that. Okay, yeah. So it gives a nice, I don't know if you can kind of, I don't know if you're even going to be able to see this. So if you can see, it has a little bit of, if you can see the little dewiness on my hand there. That is the color. And I'll put the So Guilty next to it. It's almost hard to see. It is like very nicely cooling. It feels really nice on the skin, super smooth. So as you can see here, So Guilty is right there, and then the transparent one is like right here. You can see the transparent one does give like a little bit of color. I wouldn't say color, sorry. Giving it a little bit of a shine, and a very sheer shine with no glitter, nothing like that. And then the So Guilty definitely has more of that like champagne-y tone to it. So I think both could be useful. They retail, I picked these up at Ulta for about $8.99. And I'll make sure to link all of these products below. This one right here, number 300, then that could be a really nice way to give your skin a little bit of that dewy finish without having to go in with an actual highlighter. So I would probably use that if I just wanted to give my skin a little bit of depth. I think today though, I'm going to go in with the So Guilty because I am doing a full look today. I do want that actual shine. So what I'm gonna do is, I think I'm gonna go in with my finger maybe and try and tap it in on one side and then maybe go in with just this on the other. So I'm going to just kind of swirl my finger on top and then apply that product right where I normally would apply my highlight. Okay. So you can definitely see that there's a sheen to it. I'm not sure if you're applying it with your fingers the best mode. I'm hoping that applying it with just the stick directly to my face might help apply it a little bit better. So I'm just going to lightly dab it on here. Okay, so definitely adds a lot more. I'm just going to blend that out a little bit. Ooh, it feels great on the skin. I know I mentioned that when I swatched it, but it really is cooling. So yeah, I'm actually gonna go in on this side a little and just add a little extra there. It's really pretty. It might seem a little strobing because of my lights, but in person it looks great. I think that this could be a great option for someone that might be just getting into highlighters or doesn't want something super strobing. I know they do have two other colors. One is a little more pink, one's a little more purple. So it could cater to those people that want more of a blinding highlight. It's not my personal preference, but from reviews that I've seen, they're beautiful colors. And I think it also depends on your skin tone. I'm very fair skinned, fair light, and so the transparent and the gold tones look much better on me than like the purpley highlighters, but they do look beautiful on some skin tones. So I would definitely recommend that if that is the type of highlight that you prefer. But I think, I mean, if you can see here, I think it's beautiful. This was kind of, man, my mess up side with the sponge and the brush, but I think it turned out okay. I probably could have built up the blush a little bit more, but I didn't want to overdo it since it was a cream product. But I think it definitely has warmed up my skin a little bit. Now that I've gone in with the two of these, I am going to go in with the CoverGirl Clean Fresh pressed powder, and this is in the shade 120 Fair. So it looks like this. It did come with a little puff, but I did take it out so that way it didn't fall out. So it's this kind of color here. As you can see, I mean, it's a little bit lighter than my skin, but I'm just going to be applying it to the places where I put those cream products and I earlier put on concealer. So I'm going to go in with a Real Technique sponge. That's how I like to apply my powders under my eyes. And just go in and lightly apply this. I'm hoping that applying it with the sponge doesn't overdo the highlight. We'll see on this side. So you see it right now. Let me go in with the sponge, kind of dab that in there. Okay, so the highlight's still shining through. Since I don't like a blinding highlight, sometimes I have to remember if I'm going through and powdering after, especially with the cream products, that it will, you know, it will fade it a little bit if I put too much powder on top. So maybe I should have gone in and done one side with a brush, one side with a sponge. And I guess I can always go back over top of it with a like powdered highlighter if I think that the look is too faded. But overall, once I do this, I'm going to go with my bronzer, and then my look will be complete once I add setting powder. So the shade is really nice, even though it looked slightly lighter than my skin. Since I'm only putting it in the places where I added concealer to kind of highlight the face, I don't think it's too bad. Okay. So now that I've done that, I am just gonna go in with my normal Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer. And this is, I'm just gonna go in and warm up my face a little bit. There we go, we're looking a little bit better than when we first started this video. Okay, there we go, we're getting some dimension to the skin. Add a little under the neck here. And the brush that I'm using actually for this is a new one that I've been testing out, is the Real Techniques, I believe it's called the contour brush, the custom contour brush. So if you see these buttons here, it adjusts the thickness of the brush. So that way if you really wanted to do like an actual like contour, you could. Me, I just kind of like to warm up my skin a little bit, at least especially for a look like today. So I think that's good. So I'm going to go in, set my face, put on a lip, and then this look is going to be done. So this is the final look for testing out the CoverGirl Clean Fresh line, or at least a majority of it. I, again, used the cream blushes, I tested out the cooling glow stick, and then I also tested out the pressed powder. So overall, I'm pretty impressed. I would say that I would put myself in the beginner stage of cream products just because I have powdered products that I really enjoy, but the fact that these are clean, I don't know if I mentioned the claims for this, but they are vegan, formulated without talc, parabens, formaldehyde, phthalates, sorry if I said that wrong, mineral oils, sulfates, and fragrance. So I'm pretty impressed with it. The fact that these are clean products and they worked really well. I would say they're beginner friendly. They definitely are intimidating when you first swatch them on your hand. I'm like, whoa, that's gonna be really dark, but it blends out. So I would definitely recommend these. They're a relatively lower price point, being $8.99 per shade, that I think they're definitely worth checking out if you've been interested in getting into cream products, blushes, highlighters, because I know that was something that I had been wanting to get into but didn't want to invest in the super expensive products. I think this is a great way to get into it without investing a ton of money. So again, I'll kind of show you the final look. Nothing too intense, but I think it's like a great daily look. So I'm super happy with how everything turned out. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure before you leave you give this video a thumbs up. If you haven't already, subscribe to my channel and turn on the notification bell so that way you know whenever I post next. Thanks for watching, and I